Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Instinct Bassin. Hey, I want to say thanks so much for being here, taking the time out of your day to watch this video. I can't tell you how much I truly appreciate it. The channel's grown a lot over the last year and I couldn't have done it without you. And I haven't said it enough, and I just wanted to say thanks for being here. With that being said, I also want to do something that I should have done a long time ago, and that is thanks to all the veterans and the first responders and all those that give us the freedom to go out there and fish for either a living or for fun, and just thanks so much for what you do. I come from a military family. I was in the Navy for 22 years myself. My brother's in the Navy. My granddad was in the Army. My dad was in the Navy. I just truly appreciate everything that you guys do for us, and I can't thank you enough. So thanks so much. In this video, we're going to talk about 3 reasons why you should network your console fish finder to your bow fish finder if you haven't done that already. This video is not going to be for somebody who's already got 5 fish finders all networked together on the boat, anything like that. You probably already know this stuff, and this is going to be a little basic for you, for lack of a better word. But for somebody who's just getting a fish finder, or who's just getting a second fish finder, or who's thinking about networking them together but hasn't quite done so yet, I'm hoping I can push you over the edge there and kind of talk you into it and show you why you want to do that. I run GARMIN fish finders, so this is going to be specific to GARMIN. But if you own other fish finders, the reasons won't change, just the way you network them together might change. So thanks so much for being here. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, so I am in my garage again here, as you can see. I've got the camera pointed at the fish finder, and we're just going to go through these top 3 reasons why you should be networking your fish finders together, assuming you have 2 of them, of course, or if you're thinking about getting a second one and thinking about networking them together and thinking about, hey, maybe I don't need to network them together. Why do I care what, if I can drive to a waypoint on the back one, why do I need the front one to do that? And we're just going to go over those reasons here. So the first one is going to be one you probably already heard, and that is you can share waypoints between, let's say this waypoint here, between the console fish finder and the bow fish finder. Now, why is that important? You would think, hey, I can drive to a waypoint just fine using the console, and then I can go up to the front one and look at the structure and that kind of thing. And while that's certainly true, you also want to transfer that waypoint to the front one as well, because you're going to want to know how far away you are from that structure. Once you drive over that structure, it's going to be difficult, and then you transfer yourself to the front of the boat. It's going to be difficult to tell where you are in relation to that structure unless you have a waypoint on that front one as well. And so, like for instance, this waypoint right here that I created a while back, I just called it hump here. When I create that waypoint, and I've gone into videos, earlier on how to create waypoints. There's plenty out there. So, but if you still got a question, don't hesitate to leave that question in the comments. I create that waypoint. Since I had these networked together, it automatically gets transferred to the front one up there, the little 73 that I've got up there that I hope to upgrade soon. Which, by the way, those are on sale right now, or very close to being on sale at Bass Pro for $4.99. So great deal. Check those out. Not sponsored or anything like that, but be sure to check that out. It's a great deal. Being able to transfer that waypoint automatically from this fish finder to the one up front, without having to do any kind of saving it to an SD card or anything like that, it's just going to make you much more efficient, and you're going to be able to then set the distance or set it on the screen to tell you how far away you are from that waypoint once you get on the front console, or the bow, I should say. And it's going to tell you how far away you are. I typically like to get, about 40 to 50, maybe even 100 feet away, before I start making casts to that waypoint. And then I'll usually split the screen, unless I'm drop shotting right over the top of it. But even then, I still like to make sure that I'm still on the waypoint. So having that waypoint on that front graph is just as important as having it on this back one. You're not going to use the front one to navigate to it, obviously, using the big motor. But once you get on the trolling motor, knowing where that waypoint is in relation to where you are and where you're going to be fishing is basically, one of the whole points of having a second fish finder and having that bow fish finder up there. It's not just for looking at the structure once you're on that waypoint. All right, so now the second reason is going to be that you can control what source each of these fish finders get their information from. So for instance, if I really wanted to, I could tell this fish finder, which is here at the console, to get the GPS reading from the front one. You know, I wouldn't never do that, but you could if you wanted to. Where it does come in handy is that when I'm using side view or side scan, depending on your unit, I like to tell the bow fish finder to get the side view from the console fish finder. And the reason for that is because when you're using side view, you don't typically want that transducer moving all back and forth, because it's going to be very difficult to see, you know, to understand what you're looking at when you're up there on the front and your side view is moving all back and forth because you're constantly moving the trolling motor. If you've got a Garmin fish finder, the way to do that is just going in here to settings and then going into communication and then go to preferred sources. And this right here is where you tell it to do that. So let's say side view. I can tell it to use that front one if I wanted to, since I'm back here at the back, or I can just tell it, you know, hit it on auto, which is what it's on now. And again, you can tell it, you know, traditional sonar, if you can tell it whichever one you want to use it from. And this just comes in handy when you have them networked together. And again, that side view picture for, you know, using the one up front is just one example of where that would come in handy. So that's the second reason why you'd want to network your fish finders together. And then my third reason for networking them together is kind of related to the last one, and that's being able to control all of the fish finders from just one unit. Particularly, you're going to usually use the console unit. For instance, let's say I'm getting ready to go on a long run, or if I'm standing in my garage like I am right now, and I don't want the sonar pinging on the front one, I can turn it off from this back one. I just hit this power button, and then I can hit, right now I would hit enable to turn them on, and then hit disable to turn them off again. So that turns off the sonars on all the units. Now you can control that to where it only turns off one or turns off the other, or it disables them all. I typically also do this when I'm fishing really shallow water. I did a video on that a while back on reasons to turn off your fish finder, or to at least disable it, or put it into sleep mode while you're fishing shallow so you don't scare fish away. I think it'll help you catch more fish. But also, for whatever reason you wanted to disable the sonar, say, like I said, if you're in the garage and you're working on it, any number of reasons you might want to disable that sonar or control one fish finder from the other one, that's another reason to network them together. In this video, we went over 3 reasons to network your fish finders together. These 3 reasons were to share waypoints between them, share views or the screen from one to the other, and we use side view as an example of this, and finally to control other units, like disabling the sonar of all devices from one unit. Do me a big favor, and if you like this content, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment down below. Thanks again for being here. Remember to trust your gut, and I'll see you on the water.